Guys, Greg Newsome is headed to the IR with a hamstring injury he suffered against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kevin Stefanski said moments ago that he will not require surgery, but him going to the IR means he's out at least 4 games, and that is the remainder of the season. He has a 5th-year option next season, and after that, there's no more years or money left on his deal with the Browns.
Did they pick up his 5th-year option already? They had to.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So my question to you guys is, in theory, he could be back next season because of the 5th-year option. But do you think that Greg Newsome has played his last snap as a member of the Cleveland Browns?
Good question, G. You started off.
Y'all going tough today. Is this his last game? Go right to the life points, huh? Okay. I mean, I don't think unless they decide they're gonna move. They already picked up his money.
Right. They'd have to trade him.
They got to trade him, and I don't. What do you think you could get for?
I don't know.
Greg
How
Newsome?
much is he getting on the 5th-year option? Do you know,
It's
Mike?
$13.7 million.
I mean, that's a lot of money for a at best average slot corner.
Yeah. I just don't think they can move him like that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be here.
I think they got to eat that. Like, they're not going to be able to.
They're not going to cut him.
No.
No, he'll be here. I don't know that he'll be here. I think next year's probably his last year.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But I think he'll be back next year.
Who's taking that contract? Like, I know it's only 1 year, but what? What would you give up? Nobody's giving up anything good for that. So why would if somebody's giving a late round draft pick, why would the Browns do that?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not terrible. We get on him some, but he's not a horrible player.
He's just
He's
average.
just a guy.
Yeah. He's
He's not worth where he was drafted, certainly, but he's just a guy. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to just give him away for nothing. So
yeah,
he's going to be here.
He'll be here. I mean, now look, Martin Emerson, you waited too. Like, I think both of them have shown, because at one point in time, we thought we were going to have a decision to make. Martin Emerson, Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward already making money. I don't think you got to make none of them decisions. Martin Emerson, you kind of looking.
Jason, you were another, like Earl, you were high on Martin Emerson.
Yeah, but I've been slowly backing out of it.
I've slowly retracted my grace from you.
Yeah. No.
Can I throw an idea out to you guys real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
In just terms of the Newsome, because this is kind of what I was thinking when I asked the question. I actually agree. I do think he's back. But when we talked about last year in the draft and the Browns trying to move up in the draft, it was Newsome and a pick to move up. Does he have more or less value now in a scenario like that because he's entering the final year of his deal? The money's already
I think he's got less because he was coming off probably his best season of the 4.
His PFF grade was high.
I don't think his value's changed. I don't think it was very high to begin with. I don't think his value's changed very much over the last year.
Yeah, but if anything, it's gone down, not up. It probably hasn't changed much. And we were probably wrong to suggest he would be part of a trade but this year how many slot corners are getting $13 million? I know he sees himself as an outside corner, but he's not.
He's
so
not.
I don't think he has any trade value. Certainly not.
What do you think $13 million ranks on an average annual basis for cornerbacks?
Yeah, but that's not fair because he's a slot corner.
I'm just saying, where do you think it
averages,
in general?
I bet he's number 1 for slot corners, or top 3 or 4. For overall, I'll say it's like 12th. What are you saying?
I mean, are we going 60? 90? You know what I mean? Like, 2 corners per team is 60. If you're throwing slot corners in 90, you think he's 12th out of 90?
Yeah, that's probably too high.
I think he's like middle of the pack.
In terms of money?
Yeah.
Where the $13 million rank, you're out too high.
If we're going to go 90, right?
Yeah.
35th-ish?
Yeah.
I mean, but how many second corners?
No, but Mike's just asking, of all the corners, where would his $13 million rank?
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, just where do you think 13.7?
All right, I'll say 30-something.
And that's based on
40th or something.
what their salaries are this year.
Yeah.
40th?
Boy, you're close. It's 14th.
I should have stuck with my 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
On an
Way
average
overpaid.
per year basis.
Wow.
Which
Jason talked me out of it. I thought I was off with the high cornerback number.
No, you were spot on. Here are the
14th.
corners.
Because
nobody's taking that.
Because he's a first-round pick.
Right.
Here are the corners
Yeah.
that make more on a per-year basis than Greg Newsome, who on his 5th year next year would be making $13.7 million. These are the cornerbacks that make more.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis of the Lions.
I don't know if is he any good? I don't know.
He just signed a contract last offseason.
Right.
He's the
I don't
big
know.
addition. He's their number 1 corner.
Yeah.
Diamondre Lenore of the Niners,
He's
their number
good.
one corner.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson of the Bears, their number one corner. L'Jarius Sneed, number one on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell of the Jaguars, who got the big extension. He's been hurt all year, but good player. Trevon Diggs of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Hit or miss. LaShawn Lattimore, former Saints, now Commanders. Marlon Humphrey, Denzel Ward, A.J. Terrell, Jair Alexander, Pat Surtain, and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, right.
We're talking the best of the best cornerbacks in football.
So are they all bunched together, or like where's the drop? Like where's the point?
So there are 5 cornerbacks that make $20 million or more: Ward, Terrell, Alexander, Surtain, and Ramsey.
I don't need the names. So 5 make 20 or more, and then what?
Then 7 make 19 or more.
And then Greg?
And then 17, then it drops. Carlton Davis is the closest to Greg at 14.8.
What's the drop below him? You know what?
13.5.
Wow. Yeah,
He's right above Javier.
Nobody's taking that.
Who's going
to take him as the 13th highest paid corner?
And by the way, that looks crazy that they signed him to a 5th year. Why would they do that?
Because you have to make the decision last season.
Yeah, they had to make
and he was coming off a good year.
And I think that I said this before, I think that they were trying to take care of him because he was the good soldier and moved inside. And they were rewarding him.
Well, now we got a bunch of rewards out there.
I mean, it's
bunch
only
of bounties.
It's only 1 year, so it's not the end of the world. And again, he's not a terrible player.
And you don't really want to restructure it next year, because now you're just kicking dead money down.
Right. And you're already doing that with a lot of other guys.
So how many bad contracts do the Browns have? I mean, they're adding up. You got the kicker and his. That's 2 right there. And we already talked about Deshaun Watson.
Dead money next year would be. I think Amari's got dead money for next year. I don't think
you have that handy, Mike.
Who is on
the cap for next year? Who's got dead money on the Browns cap?
Contracts.
Definitely Deshaun if they cut him.
Definitely Deshaun.
The kicker got dead money.
Well, he doesn't have dead money because he's still on the team.
But he's garbage, and they gave him.
He is garbage.
I'd have to do some digging to try and sort it out.
Off the top of my head,
do you have the Browns cap hits for next year? Every player, okay.
2025 active roster.
Yeah.
The dead cap hit or just the overall?
Just cap hit next year. Or dead cap hit if it's a player who's gone.
We're going to go down. It's worth it or not worth it. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys are not going to like this list.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now, this is going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
and we'll talk Hard Knocks next.
Go ahead.
All right.
This is for 2025, the cap hit for next season.
Yeah,
not
and if
this
it's a player
season.
who's gone, you can give us the dead cap hit too. But if it's a player
Well,
off,
if you tell me they're gone, I'll give you the dead cap hit.
All right.
Deshaun Watson, $73 million.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Denzel Ward, 24.5.
That's fine.
Okay,
that's not bad.
Myles Garrett, best contract in football, 19.7.
Oh, yeah.
That's a steal.
Okay, now you guys ready?
Yeah.
Jack Conklin, 19.5.
He makes more than Myles
It's not nearly as bad as I thought when they signed it because he's been hurt.
That's $20 million.
But it's $20 million for a right tackle.
No, bad.
Who's,
mediocre.
He's good.
He's played better than the rest of his compadres.
But it's not as bad as like a year ago. If I would have heard that, we'd been like, oh my God. Now it's bad, but not the worst. Go ahead.
Wyatt Teller, 14.4, and Batonio, 14.4.
Those are okay, but they could probably get out of Batonio, couldn't they?
The dead cap, I'm looking at Spotrac right now. I like over the cap better, but they don't sort it as well. So this is from Spotrac. But the dead cap, if Teller's cut next year, is $19 million, and Batonio, if he's cut, is $31.
Because they've both been restructured.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's horrible.
But Teller and Batonio, $14 million, they're fair.
I've got the dead money right here on.
Give us a couple more guys, and then let's do the dead money. Go ahead,
Newsome is 13.37.
Yeah, that's
bad.
Njoku, 11.8. Dalvin Tomlinson, 11.5. Judy, 8.
That's
actually
great.
good.
That's good.
This list hasn't been that bad overall. It hasn't been that bad.
Pochich is what?
Pochich is 7.8. Then you got Thornhill, 5.6. If you cut him, it's 12.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad.
Ogbo, 5.5.
Not great.
And then you're looking at a bunch of guys in
You know what? It's not as bad as you said. It's going to make people angry, but it's not that bad.
I didn't think it was that crazy.
Just the Watson contract over everything. What's the dead cap, Jason?
Amari's $22.5 million dead cap hit. Zadarius Smith is $14 million.
So you got $36 million in dead cap for 2 guys who are not on the team. And if you have to cut Watson, it's
172.
172? No.
Yeah.
It would be if I don't think they're going to cut him. If you cut him, it would be like an $87 million dead cap hit.
Yeah, no, it's not 172.
So
It's 172 over 2 years.
So,
2 years,
so
yeah.
that Amari.
Oh,
Cooper,
sorry, I was giving you the full.
Yeah,
So that Amari Cooper and Zadarius Smith, they got paid. That's a hit for them playing for somewhere else, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. If that's the full number, then the dead cap for Batonio isn't 31. It'd be half of that.
Okay.
Okay.
And Teller would be 10 million dead cap.
Yeah,
and
they're not going to
Batonio
take
would
it.
be 15.
They're not going to do either of those.
And then they've got like Quentin Jefferson's $2 million, Siaki Ika's $400,000, David Bell's $200,000, Nathaniel
Well, he's
Watson.
not cut yet, David Bell.
This is just the dead money for next
Yeah.
year. So they got about $40 million in dead money for next year
without Watson.
Without Deshaun.
They really can't cut him because
he's
if
not
you
going
cut
anywhere.
Watson, that's over $120 million
Can't do
of
it.
dead cap.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
That's half your cap.
He's on the roster next year. It's done.
Yeah,
I
now,
didn't know Zadarius Smith and Amari Cooper
You
were dead
can't
hits.
play him. They can't play him.
I'd send him home. I would send
but
him home.
you can't cut him either. It's a terrible position to be in.